Hello everyone, welcome to another video here at Premium Motors, and this time I'm doing a video of a little less common car. This car seems to be in pretty good shape. This is a 1977 Buick Century Landau Coupe. I am told that this car has 50, hang on, let me double check, let's walk in here, look. 59,700 miles on it, and it's almost believable. I have no documentation on that. The body seems to be in really decent shape. I don't see any rust bubbles or anything. There's a few door dings and stuff, but pretty minor on the evidence of that. There's a couple bigger ones, but nothing really outrageous. The plastics are still, there's a couple cracks, and this part's really broken here, but that's pretty minor for a lot of the plastics on cars of this era that are in the bumper inserts. If you look down this body side, like I say, just a couple minor dings, but I haven't really seen any rust in it. I do believe the car has had a repaint. I do not believe it is the original red. I do think the stripe's original because it feels like the red is on top, and the stripe goes, when you feel it and you run your finger across it, the white is a dip down in the paint. And you can see the kind of the tape lines. So I believe the whole car was resprayed. I think this car sat out somewhere in the sun. Based off what you see and the evidence of some of the interior. It is older paint, it's nothing really fresh. I don't know when it was done. Some of the interior plastics, the tops of the door panels are sun faded. Otherwise, other than little dog scratches here, the door panels, the door armrest, the wood trim inlay in the door is in nice shape. The seats are pretty good. I am told that this seat cover here has been reupholstered, just the seat bottom. The seat top is original, and the rest of the interior appears to be original. A little sun fading on the carpet, and you can see where the sun has got to the rear package tray. The vinyl top does look to be in nice shape. I don't see any bubbles or anything coming around here or down here. It might have been re-dyed as well, but overall it's in pretty good shape. You don't see many of these GM products of this late 70s around anymore, because they weren't the most super fuel efficient. See if the camera picks up. I know it's a little dark in here and the backlight is brighter. I can go over there. The dash though is in nice shape. Not too much fading on the dash. It could have been re-dyed. Possibly there's a little crack in the speaker over there, but the rest of the dash is nice. The heater's working. No AC in this car. The radio is currently not working. Like I said, the back seat's nice. I use the word nice. Headliner is okay. It's pretty tight. It's coming down a little bit at the very back up in here. I might be able to tuck that in there. Never tried. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Inside the door jambs, the paint looks good. I think probably the jambs are original. I don't think the jambs were resprayed. Most of the plastics are okay, other than some fading. Not really too much is broken. This belt thing on both sides I believe is broke, which is common. The backs of the doors and the bottoms of the doors are in pretty good shape. A little bit of surface rust or some paint's come off, but that's still solid. Just some orangey there. This is dirt. Ran through a mud puddle the other day. You can see some overspray on the frame. That's another evidence I think the car is repainted. The underside, the floor pans, all that is solid. As you can see, Does have a little transmission leak. I know it's dark because of the backlight, but maybe if I go to the other side, it'll help. Get the key out. Pop the trunk. That's my dog barking. The tail lights and brakes and all that are in good shape, nice shape. The trim, the stainless, the bumper insert, all that stuff is what makes me to believe it is lower mile car. Trunk got some extra parts in it. That's another Rally spare tire. It doesn't appear that the quarters have been replaced. It's original splatter paint and sound deadener stuff they used. Under the old mat is solid, but you can see where it's stuck to the original paint. Over here, this is just some paint peeling off. It's just the metal underneath the splatter paint. The wiring looks like back here. This is all factory wiring that looks like you see on lower mile cars. It's not all beat up and it's not super brittle and things like that. Make sure I have the key before I close the trunk. Some of the chrome, some wheels are better than others, but there's always a little bit of chrome flaking off the Buick Rally wheels. Here's the other passenger side door. Paint's coming off, it's solid. It's not cancer. The underside of the door is nice. Let's see if I can bring the camera down and get the floors again. They're undercoated, so is the cap. You can see that up there. And newer muffler on it. Still original fuel tank. Everything else is pretty original under there. The interior lights work underneath the dash. Oh, it's actually, I think it's a cool car. I think the car would look cool. Just my opinion, not that my opinion works the same for everybody, but just ever so slightly lowered, like just like a 1 inch, just bring it down a little tiny bit. Trying to find the release, it's over here. Has the Oldsmobile 350 engine in it. Told it's the original engine and original transmission. I think it's the original underpad. It is flaking a little there, which is nice to see. I kind of like this cool radiator shroud coolant bottle design. Don't know if it's good when it gets super old, but it's working. The people that own this car that I'm selling it for have owned it for a number of years, a couple years. Actually, the son would drive this back and forth to college, but they decided to get something a little more economical. Power steering, power brakes. Still a quiet car. Still looks like almost all the emissions are still hooked up. I don't see anything plugged up or cut off. You got the charcoal canister. It does have cruise control. I don't believe it works. But the rest is a pretty good car. So that's a little walk around video of it. I do like the grille too. I think it's almost, you know, I don't know. It's straight up 70s square, nothing fancy, but to me it just has a little bit more appeal than a Chevy of the earlier era, even though this is, I know it's a Buick and not a Chevy, but I kind of actually like the grille. I think it's a little NASCAR-y looking of the period. Like I would just lower it like an inch and maybe put some, it's still floaty like a 70s car. Maybe put a little stiffer front and rear sway bar, put like a 1 inch Hotchkiss lowering spring, and then do something like Bilstein shocks. I kind of like the stiffer ride and a little more feel than the floatiness, but Like I say, that's my opinion. I will fire it up, we'll pull it outside, and then I'll take you for a little cruise around the block like I do. Nothing fancy, but overall it's a pretty good car. Nothing's inexpensive anymore. I think we're asking, if I remember right, $15,000 for this car, which might be a lot for a 77 Buick, but this is in pretty nice shape and not perfect, but it's not a beater, and it's not something you see every day, and it looks even prettier out in the sun. When I pull it out, I'll do a quick walk around so you can see it in the sun before I drive. I did the walk around in the building today because it's quieter with noise, traffic, and all that. Like I said, the paint's pretty good other than a few blemishes. There's a blemish in the hood. I don't know if I showed you this. There is a blemish right here in the hood, and I don't know if that's from. And there's a couple fish eyes in the hood that are hard to pick up with probably on the camera, but this is like not as good a prep, I think, but the trunk lid and the rest of the door panels are good. Let me mount, go get my camera mount and pull it outside. I'll be back with you in a jiffy. Okay, here it is outside. Just a quick walk around. Here you can see it in the sun. Nicer red paint, pretty color. It looks good. All stock, real quiet, not noisy, single exhaust. Just a pretty simple little cruiser. Top's good. All right, I'll mount the camera. Hello again. I have the window rolled up, the camera mounted, got the seatbelt on, and we are going to take this on a cruise around the block. This is a factory bucket seat car. I didn't think I mentioned that before, but it is bucket seats. Got some decent little low end torque, get out of the hole. I think Oldsmobiles were a little more torquey of motors than a Chevrolet. Tilt wheel. Seat makes a little squeak. Yeah, we can see it's does drive out pretty good down the road. Typical big car 70s feel. Like I said, I would change that a little bit if I was going to keep this car myself, but it's not bad. I'm not saying it needs anything really. It's nice and quiet in here. Not a lot of road noise. Typical Buick was more luxury than a Chevy, so it's probably has more sound deadening in it. I don't know if they even did that stuff back in the day, but probably. I can feel the vent working when I opened it. That's nice. Get some air moving. Actually, the alignment's pretty good, but the steering wheel's a little crooked. Don't know why that is. A nice, comfortable cruiser on these roads that are, like I always say, they're really bad. They're not the great roads. City of Tacoma needs to spend my tax money on actually like cars like this. I probably said it in some of my other videos. I'm more of a fan. There's a nice square body right there. Pretty cool. I'm more of a fan of things you don't come across that often. And cars like this are affordable. They're not $50,000 like 69 Camaros all seem to have been. Or if you want a Chevelle or a Mustang, they're all a lot of money now. And these are definitely increased in value over the last few years, especially nicer examples. I remember I had a 73 Buick Oldsmobile 88 two-door coupe that was completely early 70s color. It was green with a tanny brown interior, but it had like 80,000 miles on it. Very nice driving car. Not a huge power. It was just a rocket 350 engine, I think, in it. It did have dual exhaust on it, and I think I sold that for like $6,000–7,000. It was like, with the amount of metal that was there, that had to have been a great bargain per ton, you know. So downshift's good, pulls nice. It drives really comfortable. Wish I could figure out why the seat squeaks. I didn't notice it that much when I drove this car last time, although I had both windows fully rolled down and there's a lot more wind noise. You might have heard it faintly, but it didn't stand out like it does when I have the windows up. Blinkers, lights, that all seem to work right now. Fan motor works, but it does not have AC, which in the summertime AC would be nice. I'm definitely one of the only people on the road in this car nowadays. Full-size GM cars of the late 70s, the two doors and even the four doors are really just a lot harder to come by anymore. Bucket seat's nice and comfy. I bet they reupholstered, not that they just reupholstered, I bet they put new foam in the bottom because it actually feels really good. There we are. That was a cruise around the block. Just good old 70s American big iron. I'm not going to say muscle because there's not much muscle left. Nice big car, comfortable ride, nice and quiet. And really is overall, if it had AC, I wouldn't mind driving it a little more. It's just, you know, I'll give it another month when the temperature drops a little. So there you have it. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you want to like, subscribe, not like, do whatever you feel like doing. You guys have yourself a good rest of your day.